Alright, greetings world. I'm Wallace. I'm clearly the best person ever made. You can notice I said so. I'm being accompanied by this guy called Nikki. He's kind of a loser. If you want to introduce yourself, Nikki.
Well, my feelings are a little bit hurt by that intro, but yes, hello everyone. It is I, the one and only Nikki. Wallace and I are here to cast a Division 6 matchup, I believe. PSU Nebula going up against Gator eats Squid out of the University of Florida. Wallace, what can you tell me about these two teams?
Okay, what I can tell you right now is that Florida football sucked this year. They went 4-8. Penn State football, we went like 7-6. So you know, like, what this means that we're gonna kick Florida's ass. Is Gator eats Squid from Florida.
7-6. That's very close to 6-7, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we beat Clemson. That's all that matters.
Truly. But Splatoon, not football, right? What can you tell me about
Here's the thing. Penn State isn't usually good in football, which is why we're good in Splatoon. The two are correlated, which is why Florida's bad. And they're going to lose.
Well, the irony of that statement is that, again, just really trying to grapple and bring this back to a Splatoon for a minute. The irony of that is that Penn State Nebula is actually 0-1 in the season so far. Still early in the season. It is only week 2 after
Here's what I'm saying. Hey, Nikki, that's fake news. Nebula's in a sweep. Trust.
Are you telling me it's a bunch of populist propaganda?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Nebula, it was a fluke last time. Like, the referee was biased. Like, they had to go against lag power-up. You know how hard it is to play against lag power-up? Very hard.
Very hard, huh? Dude, don't say those words around me. No, it was a hard-fought set. PSU lost 2-4 in their week 1 match, so they're still looking for that first win of the season. And on the contrary, Gator eats Squid actually won their first set, ironically in a 4-2 set. So both of these teams kind of mirror images of each other, it seems like. I must admit, I don't know any of the players on PSU Nebula, despite it being my school. I'm too much of an unk to know all these people. So Wallace, what kind of weapons can you expect out of Penn State?
Okay, here's what I can tell you. We have Jolts. Jolts likes to play the trash can in Octobrush. I know, very impressive. Then you have Ian. Ian likes to play Brush, Charger, and the trash can. Then you have Hextoons. Hextoons plays Shot and Dreadrunner. And you have Youth D48, who plays Carbon, Heavy Edits, and Dynamo. Then you have Buddy, who just picked up the game like 3 weeks ago. He's still trying things out.
Just trying things out. I mean, hey, we are in Div 6, one of the lower divs. I always make this comparison. Lower divisions, it's a lot like the Wild West. Anything can work down there, so someone just kind of flexing between a lot of different weapons, seeing what they feel right on, it could definitely work down there. And hey, having that kind of one wild card kind of player on your team to keep the opponent guessing, it could do more damage than you probably expect. But any thoughts from Gator eats Squid? Obviously, like, this is a rival school, so we probably don't know a lot about them. But here's that we're going into clans.
Here's what I'm gonna say. They're from Florida. Florida sucked ass at football last fall, so they're gonna get dunked on here. I'm PSU Nebula all the way. I'm a bit biased though, because Jolts is my homie. Like, I have the Jolts as my full favorite support. Alright, that's the match is starting right now.
Yeah, so we're going into Game 1 on Scorch Clams. This is a certified Hood Classic, I'd say. Looking at our comps, a lot of what you were describing from the side of Penn State. We have that Brush, we have a Dynamo, a Dreadringer from Hexa, and then Nzap coming from Goober. Likely for that coolest.
Double Dynamos! Ooh.
Yeah, dueling Dynamos, good catch there. Dynamo was just recently, like, giga buffed in one of the more recent bounce patches, so I can't say I'm too surprised. But also, that is youth on the Dynamo, actually. I cannot say I was expecting that. I always thought they were more of a Carbon player.
He plays Carbon, Dynamo, and Heavy Edits. He loves his cooler. Wait, he's playing Trump's Dynamo.
It is ironic. Yeah, first of all, it's not even the cooler Dynamo, but also, like, playing both Carbon and Dynamo, like, two polar extremes of the roles. But anyways, Penn State, early advantage, finding an early 2 down, a big slider, finding another one. The enemy backline, well, actually, Gator eats Squid's kind of being a double backline comp to Dynamo and Bro, but there's the basket almost broken. Penn State has a lot of momentum here.
We're just respecting a Goober. That's the new player I'm telling you about. Ooh, crazy crab tank here with 2 kills already. As he ended that push. A human swing over Gator.
if you're University of Florida, you're not quitting over this, and they're actually going to retaliate for a very quick push and finding the trade on the brush there. All they need is one Clam and the lead will be flipped. There it is. Looks like they're going to try to jump into the pity, but I don't think they're going to be able to sink it in.
The Diamond got triple.
It's just the brush. Free basket. These are going to be big points for Gator Eat Squid.
Nebula's need to make a third effort here to retake their elbow, where Gator Eat Squid's going to get a ton of points. This Diamond is causing havoc.
Yes,
that's an insane dribble. We're going to take it by the other Dynamo.
Popping off. The Dynamos both popping off. Both of them have Aura active. Gonna camp that jump. Somehow not gonna find the pick. Oh, Youth, I feel like you got kind of robbed there, my friend. Steamfunk putting in a lot of work for their team. Aura still online and in a very dangerous forward position. They're gonna go down there, but just keeping the Penn State far back in their spawn like that, it's gonna give their teammates all the space in the world to take mid, control that economy, and secure top mid.
Jolts, what are you doing?
Yeah, Jolt's getting distracted by the flank there. Not even going to find the pick, unfortunately. Koki now behind enemy lines in a really dangerous position. Not quite going to find the picks, but this is what Penn State really cares about him. Go back.
Insane double here from Koki.
It's just the Dreadringer now, stuck in a bit of a 1v1. Koki's going to dive them. Not able to find the pick, gonna get the trade instead. It is just Jolts, and they're gonna dive to the Dynamo. This is a free basket yet again, but no, the worst case scenario, the ball is stuck on top of the pedestal. They're gonna manage to save it, but I mean, that's a lot of time wasted for Gator Eat Squid.
What we're seeing here is that Gator Eat, with this Dynamo, Gator Eat Squid just managed to keep the aggression. Like, they have two aggressive weapons with those dualies and shoot. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, that's
dually squelchers, dualies and dually squelchers. Very aggressive, and they play the Diamond very much like a slider. Those Diamonds were both teams are popping off, getting tons of kills. But Gator Eat Squid got a decisive early lead here, with a knockout.
Yeah, the frontline Dynamos are really going crazy. Again, it just has so much kill power now with the most recent buff that they're able to play a lot more aggressively than I think a lot of people are used to. And yeah, that was a pretty dominant showing from the Gators there. I mean, Penn State got that early advantage. They broke basket, but they only really got that one ball in. And then from there, it was basically the Florida show. Two absolutely massive pushes to take it down all the way down to the knockout. Which, given that it's Clam Blitz, knockouts are usually pretty rare in this mode. So that's a really good showing from Gator Eat Squid.
I guess what I'd say here is that PSU didn't have any sort of retake specials. You know, they have Cooler, they have Chumps, they have Zipcaster. And I forget the last one, I think it was like Reef Slider.
Yeah, Slider.
Like they said nothing for retake. Like, once Gator Eat Squid pushed up to their elbow, PSU couldn't do anything.
So, I mean, the Slider and the Zip, and technically the Chumps, they all can be used as retake specials. However, I do agree that there's some of the more underwhelming / inconsistent ones. They don't really have like that good, reliable entry tool like Booyah Bomb, Zuka, Crab Tank, Inkjet, and nothing along those lines. So that means, by no means is their roster of specials incompatible or unusable given this kind of comp, or this, like, their specials aren't necessarily bad for retake, but they're the kinds of specials that need to be very finely coordinated. Like, they need to be locked in. Like, when Hexa uses that slider, he needs to be calling that out to his teammates so they can play with the slider in the moment.
Time for me to give a very controversial opinion. Cooler is not good in loaded CCA.
I mean, yeah,
by and large, most of these players are not skilled enough to make good use of the Cooler. So it ends up being wasted. All because it gives you like a quick, instant respawn. Generally, I would rather see like a Goober on like gold arrow spray for the Booyah Bombs instead of Zap. And as you said, like, a Booyah Bomb would have been invaluable for clearing their elbow and taking space back. Whereas Cooler gives you the ability to take it back, but the players on Nebula are just too weak to take advantage of it, so to speak.
Oh, hey, we're getting news that apparently the members of Nebula thought so as well, because it appears they're going to be subbing out Goober for Ian. Ian, I believe you said they play, what, Leader and some other
They play about everything under the sun. They play shooters, they play brushes, they play chargers.
Given that our next map mode is Barnacle Zones, I don't know what kind of weapon do you think we're going to see from them? I mean, hell, the players are loading into the game as we speak, so let's just go ahead and take it.
Exact same comp from Gator Eat Squid. And Silver Arrow Spray, Zone Cheese. But strangely enough, no special power-up.
Yeah, that is strange, especially given how large the zone is on Barnacle. That special power for the bigger blast radius is absolutely vital for securing the zone in a single slider, but they're going to elect for a lot of swim speed instead, trying to play more of a mobile support role, it seems like. Here comes the first slider, getting it very quickly, playing the aerospray role nicely, but they're not going to find any picks, and they're going to get punished for it. Hexa missing a pick on the Squelchies, no, that's the V-Dualies, excuse me. Penn State's 2 down, multiple specials online, but this is going to give Gator Squid a lot of space to move up, especially with the Crab Tank popped in a 4th.
This Crabbing here is in a very strong position here because both of Nebula's members are on that platform. But it does end.
Yeah, and it looks like Penn State's trying to grapple for the zone. They're very close, but they weren't quite able to flip it, and that is kind of unfortunate because I mean
that Zipcaster gave Penn State a lot of breathing room here. It made the members of Gator Squid fall back, and you need that sometimes.
Yeah, Nebula dropping the slider. They're not able to get it off, unfortunately. I mean, they're an air spray. They're gonna have another one very quickly, but this is just really difficult from PSU to get in. This double backline comp from Gator Squid, the bow and the dynamo. It's really difficult for this mostly short-range comp that PSU is running to really get in. We see a slider coming through, but yeah, again, without that special power up, like the slider's not even able to neutralize the zone, let alone flip it. Florida's really running away with this game now. Less than 30 seconds to go now. Penn State 2 down, caught potentially in a bit of a stagger loop. They're probably going to have one more chance. It's going to come down to Hexa's strikes.
Penn State does have strikes. The question is, can Hexa... Oh, he dies.
Yeah, he drops the strikes, and with only 2 of them alive, they're going to be forced to dive the zone. Gator Squid's in that lockout position. That's going to be another very decisive win for Florida.
I think, again, what we're seeing here is that Nebula's specials aren't very strong. And once they get pushed out, it's hard for them to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and especially, again, with how defensive the Gators' comp is of the Dynamo and the Bow. Like, if they... Essentially, if they lose the initial mid-fight and Florida gets set up in that forward position, it is astronomically difficult for them to push back in, especially when, again, like, aside from, like, the longest ranged weapon they have is that Dynamo, which is matched by the enemy Dynamo and outranged by the enemy Bow. Aside from that, they are all hopelessly outmatched by every single weapon on the other team's comp, aside from those V-Dualies, which has the straight-up advantage in a lot of those close-range scraps because of its dodge rolls. So, Penn State, they're kind of forced to rely on their specials to get back in, and right now, the way they're coordinating their specials, it doesn't seem to be working. So they're gonna need to make some adjustments, I feel like. And
I cannot say that better.
Yeah, not necessarily weapons, but like adjustments in terms of like, what's the word? Strategy, I guess, or just like attitude. Mm-hmm. Like they gotta come together with their specials and like really use them with intent. As of right now, I feel like they're kind of just throwing them out because why not? You know what I mean?
Question is, what will Nebula do to change their strategy? We're waiting a long time here.
Yeah, so I mean, the big thing is, I mean, again, I don't know these players terribly well, so I can't really speak on like their individual habits or just like the things that they like to do with their specials. But I remember a good piece of advice that Vapor, the golden god of Splatoon and Explo, once taught me. Is when you pop special, you should always have a goal in mind for why you're popping special. So, for example, the slider from Ian there, which he was obviously trying to do some slider cheese, but it wasn't working out too well for him. And I think part of the reason is that each of those sliders... He had
0 special power up.
No special power up hurts, but what hurts more, I feel, was just the lack of team support. He would pop those sliders in the zone, but there would be no follow from the rest of his teammates. No one playing with the slider. So, like, again, we can't hear their comms, but, like, I imagine there probably isn't a lot of communication in who's close to what specials, who has what specials, who's ready to use their special, and most importantly, what they plan to use it for. What we really need to see more of is, let's say, hypothetically, Ian has that slider online, and he's like, okay, I'm going to slide onto the enemy stack. Because when he says that, that is his teammates' cue to rush the stack, play with the slider. The enemy team's going to be panicking when they see that slider. But all they need to do is take a few steps back and then punish the slider. If the rest of the team pushes in with the slider, though, then they can take advantage of the disruption the slider causes.
Nikki, I have an announcement to make. We have Rainmaker Manta coming up.
Rainmaker
a
Manta?
PSU classic.
Yeah, no, man, you see this one a lot in comp. It's not a personal favorite of mine, but it is one of the better Rainmaker maps.
Oh, Nikki, you don't realize, this is before your time. It's after your time, but like, Rainmaker Manta is a Penn State staple nowadays. Yes, at Penn State, it's a known strategy. Just get first pop and run and do the left jump and instantly score. You take a huge early lead. It's a Penn State staple.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure the jump is on the right, actually, not the left.
Nikki, all I'm gonna say is that directions are hard. Do you think I know?
How can it be a Penn State Classic? You don't even know which way to go, man.
Like there's a reason to go for civil engineering and not aerospace engineering.
Oh, man.
Enough said.
Let's look at these comp changes. You notice anything interesting? I noticed the jetpack bow coming out from Gators instead of the Super Chop one, which I actually really like that adjustment. This is a very strong map for Inkjet, especially in the street area, being able to poke over that wall. What kind of comp changes do you see from Penn State? I see some interesting stuff.
Custom Jet Squelcher and jokes on Ink Brush.
Also, notice...
They're going for the Penn State jump, the classic.
Yeah, they're going for it right away. Notice it is on the right side of the map. Hexa somehow not dying there. He goes taken out by the Dynamo. I also want to point out Penn State is switching to the vanilla Dynamo, not the Super Chump one anymore.
What happened there is that Penn State was too slow. It's normally for a jump to work. He does someone go paint the jump. It's right there. Hexa had to paint the jump for himself and was too slow.
Yeah. Yeah, for a little bit of team support, that crazy... Oh, I thought he ran off the map. Well, for a little bit of team support, that crazy hard push on the left side, excuse me, the right side, your right directions are hard. On the right side, that probably could have worked, but either way, it probably would have been wiser if Penn State played the opening of that game just a bit more patiently, found a few vital picks, even just one pick, and then rushed hard, right? By trying to dive that first checkpoint while the entire enemy team was still alive, it's very easy to get yourself stuck in a corner there, which is kind of what we saw happen to the Rainmaker.
I guess in defense of ours on Nebula here, that strategy does work. Easy to have someone paint the jump for you and go where he realizes what's happening.
Yeah.
And here, Gator and Squid get over the conventional push and score.
A big hammer from Jolt's gonna find one, gonna find two, able to find three. It is just the bow. Jetpack is online, but that is a backline all left alone. Penn State needs to be moving more quickly here.
That hammer from Jolt's may save Penn State the checkpoint for now. But the thing is that Gator and Squid's putting so much pressure on, they're probably going to grab and score before too long.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big hammer, but like it found three. It was just the bow, but because PSU chose not to rush down the bow, Xander here was able to get all of their teammates jump-ins, and now Gators are pushing right back into them into enemy territory like nothing ever happened. They're gonna make that first. They still have a lot of momentum in their favor.
The jetpack here managed to get a huge double. I think he can't by youth. Yeah, in a Dynamo, with a double would seem. Balanced main weapon.
So the first checkpoint is going to go down for PSU, which puts them at a slight disadvantage. It means they're going to have to work a little bit harder to get that first check now. But either way, I mean, not the worst case scenario. The choke point through street is the absolute hardest part of this map to push through. So Penn State really wants to make sure they can hold on to that section of the map. If teams can push through there, they get points very, very quickly. So by no means is Penn State quitting over this. Although them going 3 down, the street is undefended. Yeah, we're going to see exactly what I was just saying. Points ticking down very quickly.
And that's a knockout.
Yeah, wow. Damn, Rainmaker truly is the mode where anything can happen. All it took was one poorly timed wipe, and Gators ran from 63 all the way down to 0 with basically no resistance.
I think we're seeing a repeating loop here. Like, Penn State gets pushed back and just can't put, and just lacks the ability to get back in once they're pushed back.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they really got to figure out. I can't help but feel like Penn State is really struggling with the Dynamo matchup. Steam Funk on that Dynamo is just shredding them. Like, the dude is bending them over, whipping out like the baby paddle, and just like, I'm gonna drop this sentence now. But you get what I mean. Like, they are really struggling with the Dynamo matchup, and even when the Dynamo's dead, they still have that bow to work through. It's this double backline comp that is so oppressive in lockout, and Nebula seems to really struggle in those lockout scenarios. So this is
and then you have the two goalies just going up and feeding the whole match to keep PSU busy.
Right. But regardless, I mean, again, a very strong showing from the Gators. They were up 3-0 in the set, all 3 wins being fairly dominant knockouts in their favor. Penn State, they're going to need a reverse 4-0 sweep to turn this set around, and with the way things have been looking, I mean, it's definitely not impossible, don't get me wrong. But like, if I was betting my firstborn son on it...
TC Hagglefish is next.
Yeah, TC Haggle. how do we feel about that? I would love to see an E-leader come out from Ian. I want to see what kinds of shots they can make with it.
I guess at the very least, TC Hagglefish is a bad Dynamo map.
Is it? Is there such thing as a bad Dynamo map anymore?
Yeah, that's a valid point. But usually this is a strong Charger map.
It is.
Chargers love Dynamo because they can shoot Dynamo down easy.
They sure do. Dynamo, I mean, it tears shorter range weapons to shreds, but anything that outranges Dynamo, it is such a free matchup. Like, me, as someone who plays 96, I love the Dynamo matchup because it's so easy.
And another thing I've noticed that Nebula is not subs since game 1. Because, again, like, A. Goober is a new player. I think Nebula is just trying to run their best for and praying to God for a win.
Yeah. So, TC Haggle, talking about strategy for this one, I mean, there really isn't anything too crazy about this map mode. I always say Hagglefish is the battlefield of Splatoon. It is the most bog-standard straight line of a map with a mid route, a left flank, and a right flank. The top right is the key defensive location. Both the first and second checkpoints are very difficult to take if the enemy team has anyone up in top right. I might have called it top left earlier, but I'm talking about top right.
I understand what you mean. The top right tent is super important to take.
So that is where teams should be coordinating their specials. Again, Nebula seems to have a bit of a special coordination issue. So we're gonna have to see what kinds of things they pull out. Ian's pulling out the
no weaknesses.
Sam.
Bold.
Yeah, I like the specials Penn State has here. They got strikes, they have whale, they have booyah, lots of things that are very strong in tower control. And then of course they have that caster from Jolts, to be expected.
You're missing the best part, Nikki. Penn State has the no weaknesses Dynamo. They're gonna win now, as they have no weaknesses on their team.
No weaknesses. So shout out to Youth playing all 3 Dynamo kits in the same set. You don't see that terribly often from players. It looks like a player of Gators already has Aura online, assuming I saw that correctly.
I believe so. I think it's that Dynamo.
Yeah, Steam
is absolutely
monster,
tearing Nebula apart.
A crab online on the tower.
A huge pick from Youth.
Good shot by Youth. Youth trying to push in very aggressively. I mean, Gators are 3 down. It is just a Dynamo, and his location is known. Penn State really needs to be more proactive about diving Gators when they're in these disadvantageous states. They are going to keep this momentum up, finding 2 Booyah Bomb online and strikes as well. This is probably going to be some big points for PSU. Really like the first genuine push it feels like they've had all set. And yeah, they're keeping up this momentum, still finding picks. They're gonna go 3 down, but either way,
look, looky, what can I say? Penn State has no weaknesses now. They have the best weapon in the game on their team. They can't lose now.
I mean, apparently. Either way, I mean, their lead's gonna be flipped right away. I mean, their lead wasn't too commanding. Gonna get taken down by a suction bomb. Good placement by Jolts there, with a Zipcaster online as well. Here it comes. Gonna try to make some big plays with it. Not really finding anything with it, but I mean, hey, the Zipcaster just for the intimidation really matters.
He always had to pick on that bow there.
Yeah, I feel like Jolts, they're a bit, how to describe it? I'm no Zipcaster aficionado, but I feel like they're a bit too, big wipeout from Penn State. That is what they need, ladies and germs.
I'm pretty sure Hex2's got trouble. That's what Nebula, this is what Nebula needs. They're trying to get checkpoint here.
Yeah,
Hex2's back up, then pop his strikes, yes. In a key position, as you said. Hex2's putting his strikes in key positions. Nebula has a commanding lead right now. They're up at checkpoints.
They're gonna go 2 down there. I really think the remaining 2 players should have focused life there to get jumps in for their teammates. PSU Nebula seems to have a problem with retreating. They tend to overextend a lot is what I'm noticing. So that's gonna be a delayed wipe in favor of Gator Eats Squids, and with an Ancient already online, likely some more specials online by the time they get back to that first checkpoint. This is probably gonna be a fairly big push for the Gators unless Nebula gets their shit together.
And again, with special coordination, where is that Booyah Bomb going?
Yeah, Ian really, it's the same thing with his sliders. He seems to just throwing out specials because, well, what else do you use Aerospray for? He plays Aerospray like Jay. He's not playing to win or to use the weapon well. He's playing to see how many specials he can farm in a single game.
And has another Booyah Bomb. And again, this one is more of a panic Booyah Bomb you throw out to not die. So that one had a bit of a point.
Yeah. Either way, though, they're just not getting a lot of value out of the Booyah Bombs. It really feels like he's playing a game within the game. He wants to see how many Booyahs he can get in a single game. Nice bomb from Hexa. Gonna run in kind of alone, smartly falling back. Good call out on the Squelchies there. That's 2 down on the side of Gators. Again, that would be a great time for Penn State to be pushing, but they're very slow to take a tower. Seems like they forgot about the objective.
Again, Penn State as a lead right now. They're playing very passively, I'm noticing right now.
They do, and they've been playing passive all set, I feel like. Again, they're very slow to get things moving when they have advantage, which is kind of to their disadvantage. Oh, there's a lot of lag. Whoa!
One from each team.
Alright, so we're playing
honestly, this may be the Nebula's advantage because Jolts and Hexy are probably the two best players in Nebula, and they're both still in the room. This might give Nebula the advantage they need in order to win. That is a wipeout. Never mind.
That's a big wipeout. Luckily for them, the tower
was a no double.
The tower was deep into Gator's own territory, so they're gonna have to waste a lot of time just getting the tower back in mid before they can even begin scoring points again. So they have a bit of a buffer to work with, but lots of specials online. The Enchant is gonna get cancelled. Crab is online though. Cooler is online. It's an effective 2v2 right now.
The question is Hextoons farming his GG strikes? It's about the time of the game you start doing that.
Yeah,
the crab's in a bit of an odd spot. It's one. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's only one, but again, in a 3v3 scenario, every count matters. Hex is gonna go down. GG Strike's gonna take a little bit more time to build, and Penn State's lead is far from commanding. They only have like a checkpoint lead here.
Yeah, checkpoint. They got a checkpoint at half the track to the next one. And they need to get strikes right now.
Yeah, they need them ASAP. That lead, only 2 points.
And lead is gone.
Time. No, that is going to be the lead. And with that lead, probably the set for Gator eats Squid. A clean 4-0 sweep.
With the exception of that last game, it's a very dominant set for Gator eats Squid. Nebula's had no answers to the comp Gator eats Squid had.
It's surprising because, if I'm not mistaken, give me just a second. Yeah, Nebula was actually the higher seeded team. PSU Nebula was the 4th seed of their group, and Gator Eats Squid was the bottom seed of their group. So to see them take a commanding win, definitely an upset, I'd say.
That is very much true. Considering Florida is a bad school in football.
This guy, oh my god. Listen, I thought I hated Florida, but oh my god.
I don't care.
Either way, we can trash talk Florida all we want.
Look, all I'm gonna say, Nikki, is that I will take any opportunity I can to trash on SEC schools.
Alright.
They're not doing playoffs, what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
that's the end.
That is a tad unfortunate. We love to play all, but I mean, hey, sometimes people got places to be, right? No shame in that. So we're not doing play all. Congrats to Gator Eats Squid on their very commanding win. They are now up 2-0 in the season, which makes them a contender for the top seed of their group now, I would believe.
If they win one more set, they're a lock for playoffs.
Not necessarily. You can, like, if multiple teams go 3-2, then there could be some tiebreaker shenanigans. Normally 4 wins are what you need to get guaranteed for playoffs. But you are correct in saying one more win, and they are very safe.
They're very, very safe. Like as you said, the only way they would not get in playoffs if like multiple teams go 3-2, which is very unlikely.
Conversely, Penn State now in a bit of a rocky situation, going 0-2 in the season so far. They're going to need to really lock in, and if they want any chance at a playoff spot, they're going to have to win the next 3 and hope the tiebreakers work in their favor, which, you know, the crazier thing is, stranger things have happened. Like, the stars do align sometimes, but it is unlikely. Regardless of the results, though, Penn State, there's plenty of season left. You guys could still get some big wins. And that last game, I think, did show that Penn State was getting better. I'd be very curious to know if it wasn't an effective 3v3 for the last minute, if the outcome of that game would have been different. Because, I mean, like, hey, like, they lost that Booyah Bomb, and maybe if they had both the GG Booyah and the GG Strikes, maybe the outcome of that game would have been a little bit different.
Who's to say? Because, again, Nebula lost a big boom special. Everyone having just like this 2 big bombs they can just throw whenever they want to having Zipcaster, Tacticaler, and Tri-Strikes. And Cooler is not very good in a 3v3.
Yeah, not really.
Actually, they had Wales. I don't know what it was Wales. There was no weaknesses, Dynamo.
If I was to give any advice to Penn State, just by looking at them, how they played in this set, the 2 big things, as Wallace and I, we seem to agree on this, special coordination's a big one. You guys are popping a lot of specials, and they're not exactly getting a lot of value. So make sure you're not just calling out when you use your special call-out when you're about to use them, and more importantly, call out what you plan to use it for. But the other big thing I'm noticing is that you guys are just playing way too passive. So many instances where Gators were 2 down or even 3 down, and the entirety of Penn State is just kind of hanging back and inching forward at a snail's pace, when it's like, guys, go kill that last guy. You'll win the game if you do that. Again, we're talking about Div 6. By no means are these like the most like by no means are these like the sweatiest, like gamiest, most hardcore Splatoon players in the world. But at the end of the day, right, like it is fun to like look at these teams in lower div environments and be like, like what is the difference between how these guys are playing versus how PSU Blue is playing, right? When you have, especially at a school like Penn State, when you have teams ranging across multiple different skill levels, teams all the way from Div 6 to some of our players are Div 1 veterans, right? It's good to leverage some of that knowledge to improve your own gameplay, I feel. So Penn State, like, take it all as a chip on the shoulder. Might be down 0-2 in the season, but like I said, there's plenty of season left, plenty of time to get better. Y'all will be fine. At the end of the day, and if nothing else, at the end of the day, we're all here for just some good fun, right?
Yeah, indeed. I don't know. Question is can Nebula pull off the 3-0 reverse sweep and get a playoff spot? Ooh.
It's definitely not out of the question. So what's concerning is their week 1 match would have been against the 3rd seed of their group, and this one was against the bottom seed of their group. So they still have to play against the 1st and 2nd seed teams in their group, which are hypothetically even stronger teams than Gators. Now, that said, Gators did have an easier time playing against the 4th seed than they did playing against the 1st seed. Which I guess does make sense, so never mind, scratch that. My point is, seeding in the lower divs is usually a lot more muddy than seeding in the higher divs, because a lot of these players are unknown. A lot of these players and teams have no results. So they're kind of just tossed in this vague, messy soup of the lower divs, and the seeding doesn't really matter as much. So who knows, maybe like the 1st and 2nd seeds aren't quite as strong as Gators are. I mean, hell, Gators they have a win over the top seed of their group. So Penn State, maybe they'll have better luck against those higher seeded teams. But only time will tell. What we know for sure though is that they gotta make some adjustments, because right now it was a pretty dominant set for Gators, and like the Penn State, I know they have it in them, right? Like there's some good stuff happening. Like these players, they're not new. In fact, I think some of them are actually former season champions, right? Like youth played on caffeinated coolers, I think, right? So did Jolts. Yeah. So the players on Nebula, by no means are they strangers to comp. I know they have the chops. They have it in them. They just have to merge a little bit better, lock in, and really bring their A game for the next 3.
I guess if you're listening to this Nebula, the way you play Splatoon is that when you're pushed back, you focus specials and just throw a ton of specials out at once. These killer whales by themselves aren't very lethal. When there's killer whales, strikes, and Booyah Bomb on you all at the same time, someone on the other team's gonna die.
For sure. Yeah, anyways, I feel like we're kind of just yapping in circles at this point. One more time, congrats to Gators, Penn State. You guys got this. Just chill out a little bit. I know you also be fine. But in the meantime, Wallace, where can the lovelies at home find you? Any shameless plugging? Anything?
I live under a rock. I don't have any social media. You can't find me. Unless you're the feds. The FBI probably knows where I live.
This man's completely off the grid. Well, if you like the sound of my dumb voice, you can check out my YouTube channel over at Anico Nikki. My non-collegiate team, because I'm an unk, my non-collegiate team is playing in Ludi. I plan to upload all of our VODs, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be hype. We're in Div 10 because we're bad, but I mean, that means the matches are usually pretty wacky and wild. So check out my stuff. I think there's a link to it in the description of this stream. And of course, a shout out to our lovely producer, Hypnova. Hit all the buttons that help her. She's fantastic. And of course, just a big shout out to PSU Splatoon in general. I'm pretty sure we got some other sets coming up for you guys later this week. There's one Saturday, I think, at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Real seeded.
Which Penn State team is that? Which div?
Stage to the Power 7 in the exact same div.
Look at that. Look at that. Stay tuned for that. And of course, there will be many more Penn State sets to come. We have 6 teams, so I mean there's a lot of interesting people to follow in here. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be exciting. But otherwise, Wallace, anything else to say?
Official sweep on Saturday. We will avenge Nebula. Trust.
I mean, you guys did win that first set, so I believe. But yeah, no, I mean, it seems like we're good to wrap things up. To all the lovelies watching at home, thanks for tuning in. We love you all. Take it easy.
See y'all later.